about you, honey, but I keeps a house full of color in the winter time. This is the first arrangement that we got knocked out for today, and we are going to be doing another arrangement. This arrangement is packed full of color. I mean, everywhere you look, you see a bloom and you also see some color. You may be saying, okay, we can't see what's going on. So I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer so you guys can see this arrangement. But the plants that we use primrose, and then we also use the calendula or calendula, however you want to say it, but it is part of the Kalanchoe family. Came in, we use this beautiful concrete lobo. No, I do not remember where I got it from. I'm so sorry. I know oftentimes you all ask me, where did you get the container from? I have been collecting containers for so long. I do not remember where I got a lot of my containers from. And I actually have a storage full of containers. Well, not just one storage. We ain't even gonna get into that. That's neither here nor there. But we are getting ready to do our next arrangement. But before we do that, let's get in so we can look at this beautiful arrangement, because I want you guys to see what it looks like up close. Here's how the top of the arrangement looks. Everything is full and it's in unison, and I just love the pops of color. And you can see all throughout the arrangement, we have that beautiful golden canary yellow. Then we also have that fuchsia magenta feel coming on. Primrose is echoing that same yellow color, and I just totally love it. And all of these plants are stuffed in here. The bowl on this is very low. I love to use this bowl. It is a concrete planter and it's a low bowl. So when I have an opportunity to snag up a low bowl, I jump right on it, and I try to get them. If they would have had two, I would have got two. If they would have had three, I would have got three, because these never get old and they're timeless classic pieces. Even though the bowl is small, it is packed full of color. For this arrangement, you are going to be using pinpoint watering. So what I mean by pinpoint watering is you just want to take your watering can and you just go in and you water this arrangement plant by plant, because if you're watering this overhead, then you're going to mess up the arrangement. And since this arrangement is going to be kept indoors, it's not going to like as much moisture as the leaves are going to hang on to. And just as a rule of thumb, it is best to not water your plants overhead, but try to get it more at the root level. You're just going to come in and take your watering can and find a space, even if that means that you have to pull back leaves, and you just go in and you just try to make sure you hit each individual plant or the region that the root ball is in. This next arrangement, ooh, honey, that little thing is heavy. Hold on. Ooh. That thing is heavy, honey. But anywho, so on to our next arrangement. This arrangement is going to be a nod to the birds outside, baby, because they have definitely earned their keep, honey. We are going to start out with a bird cage just like this. We have some small vine wreaths as well. And then if you can get your hands on different types of birds. So I have a red bird here, which is also a nod to the St. Louis region, a nod to the Cardinals. So I have some red birds, so you're going to need those. And then also we want to use a little bit of floral stem for this arrangement here. So we'll set that off to the side. We may or may not need to use it, but if we need it, it's there just in case. Then I also have some pruners on hand, and now we need to go get the container as well as the plant. This is our container. Yes, a roasting pan. You guys, you can turn anything into a container. So we are going to hop right into it, and we're going to start planting this up. how the front of the container looks. Went ahead and I put some moss on the inside of it. Let me straighten out his little tail. I also took moss, I put it on the inside, but then I also tucked it around the edges. Look at the contrast in the texture between the heather and the primrose. Absolutely amazing. We have one cardinal tucked in right there. On the back of the container, you can see where we tucked in another primrose, which gives us our nod to our other arrangement. And here we are again. Even if you look at it from like this angle right here, you can see how everything just elevates up. Absolutely gorgeous. I just got out of the longest conference call ever, and I'm like, I need me some tea. It's no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. It is a must. I'm going to let my tea steep for a bit. While the tea is steeping, we're going to head and we need to check on the stock seedlings that we just started and then get all of the supplies for the project that we're going to be working on while this tea steeps, honey. I need me a drink of tea right to the now, okay? Have my water like extra hot because that way it like just steeps even faster. But you guys, hold on, let me tell you what tea I'm drinking. I am drinking Pinky Up. It is hibiscus tea with ginger. And it smells absolutely amazing. It is absolutely 100% intoxicating. It smells so good. And it's a loose leaf tea. Do you guys drink loose leaf tea or do you like your bag tea? I like them both, honey. But I can say when you drink loose leaf tea, you get more of the flavors. You can really taste the flavors throughout the tea. Versus bag tea, you still can taste the flavors, but I feel like a little bit of it is lost. Drop down in the comment box. Let me know, are you a tea drinker? Are you a coffee drinker? Both. What is your choice when it comes to coffee and tea? Here's our stock seeds that we started. Now, right off the bat, I can see that we have a lot of seeds that have germinated, but I also can see that we have some mold. Is that mold growing? Just go ahead and take these off of the heat mat and we'll get a closer look on what's going on with these seedlings. I have the seedlings. We're going to set those right there on the countertop real quick. And actually, you guys, these Amaryllis bulbs right here, we are going to have to move these out of the way so we can have more space to work with, because we are going to be working with some African violets, and I cannot wait until you guys see the container that they're going to be going in. It's going to be right on trend with where it's going to be sitting in my home. And I have to get a new tea strainer. All right, so I have my tea strainer in. Yes. Woo, it is ready, honey. Yes, honey. Okay, now we can work. Let me move this off to the side, honey. You guys, I gotta take one drink. It is. It's good. It is good. It is good. All right, let me stop cutting up. Right here, I am going to show you how I do my Amaryllis. So right here, I have a Amaryllis bud. One is in bloom. One has passed and went to seed. The same thing here. This is completely done, and it looks like it's one that's starting to form right here. If another bud is not on its way up, then I know that it's going to be going to leaves at that point. Now, I can say that this is another succession of blooms right here. I have had Amaryllis bulbs in bloom in some room of my home consistently week after week. And I do that by making sure that after my Amaryllis bulbs bloom over, I make sure I don't throw them away, because that's going to save me money come next year. This is very simple and easy. For this one right here, we're just going to go in and we're just going to make a simple cut. Just follow it all the way down as close as you can get to the bottom. Push the leaves out. Now that's done. And then you just have a bulb that presents there. And then on this one right here, the only thing we're going to do is we're just going to snap off the seed pod. And you actually can just, really, you can cut it off. That's it, that's all. And then once this bloom goes over, then I will cut it down just the way I did this one. And anytime I go in and do any type of work on my Amaryllis bulbs, I'll water them. I'm going to set this container inside of this clear lid. This is the top to the aluminum trays. You know, the aluminum trays that you take and to throw away oven roaster pans. That's what I use. I'll buy them. I use the bottom of them. I start ranunculus in them. I'm telling you, I find ways to save money. So I'm just going to set this over here and just water it in real quick. And it doesn't need much. And then this just goes to the waste pile. Here is our first group of African violets. Now, I know you saying, come on now, Queen, what's up with this? What's up with this, Queen? But let me tell you, just hold that thought, because I have some more trays that we're going to be getting. Here's the next tray right here. Here is the final African violet tray that I'm going to bring in for us today. Took my African violets and I neglected them on purpose, because so often you hear people tell you, oh, well, if you want a beautiful African violet, this is what you do. But when all in all, the African violets that they're showing you at that time are in tip-top pristine shape. Now, you do have people that keep their African violets in tip-top shape all the time. Baby, my neighbor is one of them. She has some of the prettiest African violets. Like, she has miniatures, and I'm not talking about like just like this. She has some that's a variety of an African violet. I would have to call her to find out what the name of the African violet breed that she has. And I go and I look at her African violets. Baby, they look nothing like mine. They are like on point. And I'm not even talking about when I say my African violets are in bloom right now. I'm not even talking about that. I neglected these, and I exposed some of them to too much light. I exposed some of them to not enough light, to show you how to bring your African violets back from looking like these African violets right here to looking like an African violet that you want to actually show off. And then from there, do an arrangement with African violets. Now, when I say I break the rules with African violets, I've taken African violets and used them in mixed containers only because I wanted it to be a play off of another plant. Like, I've taken African violets and mixed them in with hydrangeas. We all know that's a no-no. But I know that I can recover my African violet, let it sit in there until that arrangement has flown over, until I say, okay, enough is enough, it has suffered. Then I take it, I repot it the proper way that it should be, meaning that I'm using the correct size container. I am using African violet soil because that's what they like, and I kind of nurse it back to health, and they're absolutely fine. But that's technically not what you should be doing, okay? Let me move this out the way because we're getting ready to get messy. I have all sizes of African violets here. You guys, this is one African violet. This is just one. And so you have your smalls, your minis, your semi-minis, but I know how to take care of African violets, if that makes sense. All different type of sizes of African violets. These are like a standard size right here. Show you how I care for mine. The first thing, we're going to go in, and I have a bucket right here. So first we're going to go in and we're going to just clean all of these up. I'll clean this off with the old blooms. And at this point, the blooms are pretty much dried away. So they break away easy from the base of the African violets. Sometimes it's easier just to take it out of the pot. See how much better that already looks right now? I took off the leaves, and you should only have so many layers of leaves. And I really feel like, for me, when I take them out, I am able to move through this process a lot faster. So you all can see this in real timing, because I have all of these to get done. I'm going to show you how to go in and clean up your African violet. So let me make way, right? What the neck looks like up close. So what you do is you just want to come in and you want to take and you want to scrape at this area right here. Just going to come in on the side. Take my little small container. I'm just going to push this down in here. So that way now you can see where the neck is sunken down. And I'm going to go in and add some more soil. Let me clean this off. And I like to do this all at one time. I like to get them all together. I like to do them all at one time. And that way I can make a decision if I have to repot or not. We're going to just clean these up. We're going to fertilize, and then from there we'll go on to the container because I want to take my best specimens that I have available to use. These are the containers that we're going to be using. Jump right in. First, we're going to start off making a terrarium. You can go with the option of black drainage, or we can use a little bit of white drainage. We're going to go with the black option. The first collection done. Now we're going to put the second collection together. Now we're going to take the bottom plate here for this glass cloche, terracotta saucer, and we're going to place it in the bottom of it. We're going to take a African violet. Now this is a large African violet, but I had to work with it a lot. I had to take a lot of the leaves off that were damaged. So therefore I had to bump it down in container size. And so it made it perfect for placing it as part of this collection right here. Going to add just a little bit of moisture to the top, but not too much. Next, I'm going to come in and I have these miniature, adorable terracotta pots. I have terracotta pots in every size and every color. And then, let me clean this pot off. I have a fern. We're going to add just a little bit of moisture to the fern. And we're going to add this as our final plant here in the collection. All of which fit very nicely on our terracotta saucer. And then the saucer fits nicely inside of the glass cloche. So we're going to place our lid on the top of here. I'm just going to dust it off a bit. And then, of course, once I get it into place where it's going to be going in my home, then I'll make sure to come in and get it nice and squeaky clean. We are going to take a small little saucer here. We're going to place that on the inside of our glass cloche, just like we did the larger one. A miniature African violet and I placed it in about equivalent to what size black plastic pot it would be in. And I placed just a little bit of water on the surface, equivalent to about 4 drops of water. And we dust off our top. With all of my small containers, I keep these because I like to use them for propagation. So I'll set these to the side and clean those up later. I wanted a larger saucer for my terracotta in this container, but as I was going through, I brought down several different types, several different colors, trying to match it up. And I probably will have to either go buy one that's a little bit bigger than this, but smaller than this right here, or just leave it as it is. Because once it gets in place, it's only going to be moved to clean off the surface up underneath it. How it looks from up top. And then once this African violet starts to grow, then the flowers will be able to have enough room and space inside of the cloche in order to comfortably stretch out. Now this one over here, as this African violet starts to grow and do what it needs to do and starts to stretch out, it will eventually have to be moved to a cloche on its own, or it will have to be just repotted, moved to a bigger pot and everything like that. But for right now, it's totally fine. And we got the other miniature one on the back side. The same is on this side right here. And then we also have our fern here. I'm totally obsessed with this collection. I just love it. Came in and we could have added more plants inside of both of the terrariums, but I wanted to make sure all of the plants had sufficient room to grow out and stretch. This terrarium right here in the smaller glass cloche, I used a larger size African violet. Depends on if I have to pop this out and just put it back in a regular container. The terrarium, the most important thing is to make sure you have your layers correct. So my bottom layer was just drainage rock, and I actually used fish tank gravel in the bottom, and then from there I used some wire screen, and then I used a layer of charcoal. Then I went in and I used my African violet soil. I tucked my plants down on the inside of it, and then I just dressed the top of it with white pebbles. Same thing on here, except for on the bottom here, instead of me going in with the black, I use white just to give it a little bit of contrast. Now these will be sitting side by side on the table, so I could have very well went in and just used black at the bottom, but I just switched it up a bit. I have used my glass cloches in the past for propagation. I've used them as mini greenhouses. We're going to go ahead and we're going to look at these seedlings here, because I know I had good propagation, but I thought I seen a little bit of mold on the inside. If that's the case, we're going to pop that soil block out, and I think we will go ahead and pull off our humidity dome here, which is just a jumbo Ziploc bag. This is the progress that we have so far for our stock seeds. I'm going to pull off the humidity dome. That way I can assess the situation in the morning and see what is going on here. I am not going to put them back on a heat mat for right now. Check in with everything and see how it goes. But we do have pretty good germination. And for the ones that look like there is not anything in side. For example, right here, you can see that we do have a seed in there that's germinated. Can you see it? I have been draining this fountain since I came in and planted up my transitional color before I even got the chance to pull the mums from over here in this area. Totally should have already drained out this fountain, but because life events just happened, I have really just put it off. And then on the days when I was able to come out here and drain it and had downtime, the water was 100% frozen. Temperatures were high a few consistent days. It melted the water. I need to drain everything because we're going to have temperatures that's going to drop down low. Start winterizing this fountain right here. The first thing we want to do is we want to take out all of these spouts. Now some of them are coming very easy and some of them are not. Like this one is kind of stuck here. There is a plug up underneath here, but I always struggle to get the plug out because where it's at. I'm gonna go around to the back and I got a brick in here. We're gonna take that out. I know, why do I have a brick? We're gonna take this off. Stick this on like this, submerge this in water. We're gonna get everything out. Let me plug the pump back in. Child, at this rate, you see how slow it's pouring out? See that? Leave this right here, and I'm gonna try to go and find another fountain pump that's not connected to a fountain. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna try to go ahead and get another pump because this is draining, but it's draining so slow. Here's the drain line. This is where we're at right now, but I am going to grab some buckets. That way we can make this go faster. Try to see if I can get it a little bit deeper in the water. just have to get the rest of the water out the bottom of here, and from there then we'll dismantle it a bit. Can see that would have been so hard to get that plug out of there. It probably would have took us a while to get it out of there, but there's our plug. This top comes off. Oh baby, I don't think it's gonna come. Let me go get one of the guys. This top piece right here comes off this section, and then this is a section all by itself. So in order to be able to drape this, because the fountain is kind of big, it looks small, but it's bigger than it actually looks, I do need to take this apart. So let me go get the guys. All right, now I'll just take this last little stem out, and it's definitely going to be some deep cleaning come this spring. So now I'll blow out the bottom of the fountain, and then we'll get the tarp on it. And then it's done. Got the fountain all wrapped up, and it'll be closed down to next season. Cat Williams. Come here, Cat Williams. What are you doing over here? This is not your home, honey. Y'all see this cat keep coming back, child. I don't know what his name is, if he a boy or a girl. I just been calling him Cat Williams. Somebody else called him Money Marlowe. Kitty, 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 kitty. What you doing, girl? We gonna empty the fountain. I don't know if you a girl or a guy.